You know, an important verse in the Bible, John 3:16, many people miss. John chapter 1, which comes before John chapter 3, verse 16, obviously. And it sets it up so well. Let's just take a look. We're at the front page. John chapter 1. You're responsible for John chapter 1. If you start delving into John 3:16, make sure that you fully understand John chapter 1 and 2 and then 3, coming into John 3, verse 3:16 to 18. We go on down to John chapter 1. Let's just take a look at the table of contents, see what it has to offer. Presuming you've gone through John chapter 1, verse 1 through 3, and on down to 12. Remember, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and in the actual Greek, and God was the Word. Take a look. In the beginning of all time and creation, we've arrived at that. If you keep on reading, verse 3 says, it refers to the creator of all things. There was nothing that was created that was not created by the Word. Take a look. All things came into being through Him, the Word, and apart from Him, nothing came into being that has come into being. The Word is creator, and He was there in the beginning. So before creation, He was there. So He's uncreated, must be God. And the Word was with God, face to face with God. And the Word was God. Actually, in the Greek, it says that God was the Word. So we toll on down to John. Let's go back to the table of contents. We toll on down to John 1:12. We have all of this in mind, having done a thorough study. I hate to jump around so much, kind of violating my own principle of taking a careful time, but these YouTubes are only about 15 minutes or less long. Take a look. The topical heading says, as many individuals of His own creation who receive the Word, the life, the light of men, Creator, eternal God, in a completed action instant of becoming believers in His name, i.e., by trusting in His capacity, willingness, and trustworthiness to provide an eternal life relationship with God through His atoning sacrifice for sins, are born of God as children of God, to whom God gave His righteousness and the authority to become children of God, resulting in an eternally secure, eternal life, familial relationship with God. We become part of the family of God when we trust in what John chapter 1 says. And here is the verse down here underlined. But as many individuals of His own creation as did receive Him, to them He gave authority to become sons, literally children of God, to those believing in His name. So, you believe and you become a child of God in the family of God, eternal relationship with God forever. Unbeknownst to most people who believe in Calvinism, God didn't make you become a born-again believer and then you believed. It says to those who of His creation, all mankind who are of accountable age, as did receive Him through faith. First you believe, then you become a son or a child of God. They've got it in reverse order. God didn't force you to become born again and then you would choose to believe. So according to John 1:12b, to receive Him, the Word, Creator of life, temporal and eternal, is to become sons or children of God, hence to receive the nature of Him which He offers to all who believe in His name, the free gifts of His perfect righteousness and eternal life through His atoning sacrifice for sins, which we confirmed in John chapter 3. So John 1:12 continues a point begun in verse 11. But as many of his own, that means of his own creation, all of whom have the capacity to receive him, as did receive him, in the sense of believing in his name, trusting in his capacity, willingness, and trustworthiness to provide through his atoning sacrifice for sins an eternal relationship with God, eternal life. God gave authority to become children of God to those who believed in his name. Now, John 1:13 continues to convey what has occurred to as many individuals of his own creation as did receive him, to those believing in his name of John 1:12. These individuals are stipulated in John 1:13 as those who not of blood, nor of a will of flesh, nor a will of man, but of God were begotten or born. So as many as did receive him, to those believing in his name, to whom God gave authority to become children of God, were born of God. Notice that the moment of faith alone in the Word alone, Jesus Christ, these individuals were born of God as children of God, to whom God gave authority to become children of God, resulting in an eternal life relationship, familial with God forever, because eternal life is forever by definition. One who is born of God as the child of God can't be unchilded from him any more than a physical birth can be unbirthed. You cannot lose that salvation. Let's take a look back, though. Furthermore, just as it says in John 1:7, that all through him the light of men, the life, the Word, John 1:1-4, might believe, which is in view believing in him, in his name, unto the reception of an eternal life relationship with him. So the many as did receive him in John 1:12a, who are said to be believing in his name, have likewise received an eternal life relationship with him. It's repetitive to confirm and corroborate. Now we got to make a statement here about unlimited versus limited atonement. Since the Word, eternal Creator God, the life, the true light, from the beginning of creation, has been revealing the truth about himself so that men might know him and through a moment of faith in him have eternal life. And since the Word came into the world with human form so that men might all the more believe in him, as testified to by John the Baptist and those who follow in John's footsteps, including us. And since as many as do receive him, to those believing in his name, i.e. trusting in his atoning sacrifice for sins, are born of God as children of God into an eternal life, familial relationship with him, then all men throughout history have had provision made for and been given the opportunity to believe in his name unto eternal life, corroborating the doctrine of unlimited atonement. Christ didn't just die for the elect, he died for all mankind. Take a look at 1 John 2:2. So, I think we've belabored this point pretty well. We're going through John 1:12-13. And here are some more notes. You're welcome to go back and double check and let me know. Is there some question that you have, some point, some grammatical error I've made? I'd like to know. Feedback is always good for me.